Have you ever wondered what happens behind the polished smiles, the carefully staged photos, and the Instagram-perfect vacations? What secrets could be hiding in plain sight? Secrets so explosive that even the most devoted fans would stop and question everything they thought they knew. Well, today, you're about to witness a revelation that has sent shockwaves through the internet. It involves Meghan Markle, Candace Owens, and a yacht. Yes, a yacht, and the truth that no one saw coming. By the end of this story, you might never look at Meghan Markle the same way again. It all started with a single post, a seemingly innocent social media leak, that quickly escalated into a full-blown storm of speculation, outrage, and viral frenzy. Candace Owens, known for her bold takes and fearless commentary, posted two photographs. Two photographs that would ignite one of the most controversial debates surrounding Meghan Markle's private life in years. But these weren't just any photos. They were images that hinted at a side of Meghan Markle that the public has never seen, a side that some claim could hold answers to questions no one dared ask aloud, until now. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The first question that comes to mind when you see the photos is simple. Who is the man in the picture with Meghan? Look closely. Notice the angle, the way the light hits their faces, the features that seem to mirror those of a very famous little boy, Archie. For days, this image circulated online, and the resemblance people noticed could not be ignored. People started asking the impossible question: could this man be connected to Archie in a way no one expected? And if so, what does that mean for the carefully curated image of Meghan Markle the world has been sold? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. To understand why this story matters now, we need to rewind a little. Meghan Markle has always been a figure of fascination, from her early acting days to her whirlwind romance with Prince Harry, to her eventual stepping back from royal duties. Her life has been dissected, analyzed, and scrutinized by millions. Every action, every word, every Instagram post has been examined under a microscope. Yet, despite all this attention, there has always been a gap, a private side of Meghan Markle that remains hidden from the public eye. A side that Candace Owens is now claiming to have glimpsed. Candace Owens, for those unfamiliar, has made a name for herself as a fearless commentator unafraid to challenge the mainstream narrative. Her boldness, her timing, and her willingness to speak in ways most would shy away from have earned her both admiration and backlash. So when she released these images, the reaction was immediate. The internet exploded. Headlines popped up within minutes. Twitter feeds filled with heated debates. Memes emerged almost instantly. Side-by-side comparisons of Archie and the man in the yacht photo flooded social media. People were questioning everything: timelines, motives, and even the very nature of what had been presented to the public about Meghan Markle's life. And here's where the intrigue deepens. Meghan has remained silent. No statement, no denial, nothing. That silence, in itself, has added fuel to the fire. Silence, as they say, can be deafening. And when the world is waiting for answers, every pause becomes a statement. Every unspoken word becomes a whisper of mystery. The lack of a response has only intensified suspicion, and in the age of social media, speculation spreads faster than facts. Now, every detail is being scrutinized. Every angle of the photo is analyzed. Every facial expression is debated. And through it all, questions mount. Who is this man? Why was Meghan photographed with him? And what does this mean for the truth about Archie? Let's pause for a moment and consider the timeline. Meghan's yacht trip took place at a time carefully documented by royal watchers, fans, and the media. Every public appearance, every event, every known movement has been cataloged. Yet, when these photos appeared, something didn't add up. Observers immediately noticed discrepancies in dates, locations, and events. The more people dug into the details, the murkier the situation became. And that's when conspiracy theories started to gain traction. Was this man really connected to Archie? Or was it a coincidence, a trick of angles and shadows? But in these matters, coincidences rarely satisfy. They leave gaps. And the human mind naturally seeks to fill those gaps with explanations, sometimes shocking, sometimes scandalous. Candace Owens' claims did not stop at the mere release of photos. She made a statement that immediately escalated the story. People will see the resemblance. The truth always comes out. Those words alone sent shivers down the spines of viewers and critics alike. She wasn't simply hinting. She was stating with conviction. The resemblance between the man in the photos and Archie is undeniable, she suggested. And in saying this, Candace Owens effectively threw down the gauntlet. The public was now forced to confront uncomfortable questions about the narratives surrounding Meghan Markle's private life, questions that many had avoided for fear of backlash or ridicule. The images themselves are captivating. The setting of a luxurious yacht, the golden glow of sunlight reflecting off the water, Meghan smiling, relaxed, and a young man, casual yet striking, sharing the frame. It's a scene that feels intimate, personal, and private. Yet it has become a public spectacle. Every detail, from the tilt of the man's head to the curve of his smile, is analyzed in search of meaning. Social media users have pored over the photos, comparing them to childhood photos of Archie, noting every facial feature, every characteristic. Some say the jawline, others the eyes, others still the expression. The resemblance, according to Candace Owens and countless social media commentators, is too striking to dismiss. And yet, we must ask, why now? Why would Candace Owens choose this moment to release such explosive content? Timing is everything in matters of controversy, and nothing in this world goes unnoticed. The leak came at a moment when Meghan's public image was in flux, when the royal family's internal dynamics were under renewed scrutiny, and when the public's fascination with Archie had never been higher. This was not just a casual post. It was a calculated release designed to ignite speculation, drive engagement, and force the public to look closely at details they may have previously overlooked. As the story unfolded, it became clear that this was about more than just a photograph. It was about narrative control, secrecy, and the power of social media in shaping public perception. Meghan Markle, who has spent years carefully curating her image, was suddenly confronted with a narrative she could not immediately control. Candace Owens, through the simple act of sharing a photo and making a provocative statement, had disrupted the carefully managed story of Meghan's private life. And the consequences were immediate. Memes, discussions, conspiracy threads, and viral debates proliferated. Every post, every comment, every share amplified the intrigue. The internet was abuzz with questions. Who is he? Could this be true? Why hasn't Meghan responded? And perhaps the most provocative of all, could this man actually be Archie's father? Let's not forget the human element in all of this. Behind the photos, behind the speculation, are real people, a child, a mother, a public figure navigating an unprecedented level of scrutiny. The emotional stakes are high. Betrayal, curiosity, suspicion, and concern intertwine. Fans are emotionally invested. Critics are outraged. And the public is mesmerized. Every angle of this story pulls viewers deeper into the narrative, prompting them to question everything they thought they knew. The tension is palpable, and the stakes are higher than ever. Now, imagine being in Meghan's position. A photo surfaces, one that invites speculation about your personal life and your child. The world is watching. Social media is aflame, and the silence that follows only serves to magnify the controversy. Every pause, every unspoken word becomes fodder for debate. And in the digital age, silence is rarely interpreted as innocence. It is scrutinized, questioned, and dissected. Every detail of Meghan's public life is suddenly re-examined under this new lens. Events, trips, and interactions that seemed ordinary are now being questioned. Could they hold hidden meaning? Could they reveal connections previously unnoticed? This story is far from over. Candace Owens has thrown a gauntlet into the public arena, and the question now is not just what the truth is, but who will speak it and when. The images, the resemblance, and the timing have created a perfect storm for speculation. And the silence from Meghan Markle has only intensified the curiosity, leaving the public to fill in the gaps with questions, theories, and assumptions. And here's the twist that keeps this story gripping. The man in the photo remains largely unidentified. We don't have confirmation, we don't have context, and we don't have Meghan's words. And yet, the conversation has exploded. Social media, talk shows, online communities, all are abuzz with debates, theories, and even heated arguments. Some defend Meghan, others question the narrative. And in the midst of it all, Candace Owens sits back, her statement echoing. People will see the resemblance. The truth always comes out. That statement alone is enough to leave viewers on edge, wondering what comes next and anticipating the next revelation in this unfolding saga. By now, you may be asking yourself, what happens next? Who is this man? Could the speculation about Archie's paternity have any basis in reality? Or is this just another internet-fueled conspiracy theory, a viral storm of misinformation? The only way to find out is to dig deeper, examine every angle, and follow the trail of evidence, speculation, and context that has erupted around these photos. But what comes next is even more shocking. Because while the world debates, the story behind these photos is more tangled than anyone imagined. There are timelines to unravel, motives to question, and connections that seem almost too coincidental to ignore. And as we delve into the details, one thing becomes clear. The truth, whatever it may be, is hiding in plain sight. And Candace Owens has just handed us the key. In the chapters that follow, we will explore everything, from the yacht itself, to the online frenzy, to the alleged resemblance to Archie, to the silence of Meghan Markle, and to the public and insider reactions that make this story one of the most explosive royal scandals in years. Every twist will build upon the last. Every detail will deepen the intrigue, and by the end, you will be questioning everything you thought you knew about this story. And as we begin, remember this. The world is watching, the internet is talking, and one small photograph has unleashed a storm that no one saw coming. But what comes next will change everything, and no one saw it coming. Candace Owens, a name that has become synonymous with fearless commentary, viral debates, and unapologetic takes. But even for someone as bold as Candace, what she did next stunned the public, shook social media, and ignited a frenzy that no one could have predicted. The release of two photographs featuring Meghan Markle and a mysterious man aboard a yacht might have seemed simple at first glance, just another celebrity snapshot. But the implications? Explosive, shocking, and potentially life-altering for the narratives surrounding Meghan Markle and her family. It all started with a post, a social media post. 2 images. That was it. No long-winded explanations. No context. Just visuals. But visuals with the power to ignite one of the most heated debates in recent royal history. Within minutes, the photos were shared, retweeted, reposted, and screenshotted across platforms. TikTok videos analyzing every angle began to appear. YouTube creators scrambled to cover the story. And on Twitter, the hashtag Meghan Mystery quickly started trending. But here's the first shock. Candace Owens didn't just post the images. She accompanied them with a statement that left viewers reeling. She asked, pointedly, "Who is he, Meghan?" Those 4 words, deceptively simple, immediately sent social media into overdrive. The question itself was provocative, accusatory, and laden with insinuation. It wasn't framed as curiosity. It was framed as revelation. A spotlight shone on Meghan Markle, a woman who has carefully cultivated her public persona, and in that moment, the facade seemed to tremble. People often underestimate the power of timing. The timing of Candace's post could not have been more impactful. Meghan Markle's public presence had been quiet, almost contemplative, following various media appearances and charity work. Fans and critics alike had momentarily shifted focus to other stories. But Candace's post tore through the calm, forcing attention back to Meghan with a velocity that social media rarely sees. The world paused, even if only for a moment, to scrutinize the images. Who was the man? What did it mean? And most provocatively, why did Candace Owens, of all people, choose this moment to release these images? The first photo captured Meghan smiling, radiant, her posture relaxed, a rare glimpse of intimacy. Beside her stood the man, casual yet commanding in his presence, his face partially lit by sunlight, his expression almost playful. It was a scene that felt private, personal, intimate. The second photo, a slightly different angle, seemed to reinforce the familiarity between the two. They weren't posing for paparazzi shots. They weren't aware of the lenses capturing them. It was candid. And in candidness lies power, the power to unsettle, to intrigue, and to ignite speculation. Candace's statement accompanying the photos intensified the storm. People will see the resemblance. The truth always comes out, she wrote. Those words didn't just suggest a resemblance. They implied a revelation, a connection that had been hidden. The implication was clear. This man might share more than a casual acquaintance with Meghan Markle. He might be connected to Archie, and that suggestion, in itself, sent a ripple through the online world. It's important to understand why this was such a bold move on Candace's part. She didn't have to post these photos. She didn't have to make that statement. But she did, knowing full well the reaction it would provoke. Candace Owens has built a career on pushing boundaries, on speaking truths that some fear to articulate, and on using her platform to disrupt narratives. In this case, she didn't just disrupt, she detonated. The online community reacted as expected, with curiosity, outrage, and speculation exploding across forums, feeds, and comment sections. The initial reaction was chaos. Fans of Meghan Markle were outraged, calling the insinuation offensive and inappropriate. Critics of Meghan seized the opportunity to amplify existing doubts and conspiracy theories. Social media influencers began dissecting the photos frame by frame, posting video breakdowns analyzing facial features, posture, body language, and even shadows. The engagement metrics were staggering. In less than 24 hours, tens of thousands of posts, comments, and shares had emerged. Views, likes, and retweets skyrocketed. Candace Owens, by the mere act of posting these photos with her provocative comment, had created a viral sensation. But the drama didn't stop there. Observers quickly noticed that the man's facial features bore striking similarities to those of Archie, Meghan's son. The jawline, the shape of the eyes, the curve of the mouth, details that some argued could not possibly be coincidental. People began creating side-by-side comparisons, zooming in on every minute detail. Forums buzzed with speculation. Headlines emerged. Is this the man behind the mystery? Archie's father? The photo that shocks the internet. Candace Owens reveals secrets Meghan can't deny. The intrigue escalated with every new analysis, every new post, and every new share. And yet, despite the surge in attention, Meghan Markle remained silent. No comment, no denial, no clarification. That silence, as Candace Owens and social media commentators would later suggest, spoke volumes. In a world where public figures are often quick to respond to rumors, Meghan's lack of response created a vacuum. And in that vacuum, speculation thrives. Silence became an amplifier for the narrative Candace Owens had introduced. Every pause, every moment without clarification, fueled the fire of curiosity and suspicion. Here's where the tension escalates even further: the timing of the photos. Observers began cross-referencing Meghan's public appearances, trips, and known whereabouts with the dates these images likely were taken. Discrepancies began to emerge. Questions arose. Could Meghan have been in two places at once? Was there a hidden period unaccounted for? And most provocatively, could the timing suggest that the man in the photos had a more intimate connection to Archie than anyone previously acknowledged? Every inconsistency, no matter how small, added layers to the mystery. Candace Owens, by framing the post with the pointed question, didn't just ignite speculation. She forced people to confront uncomfortable possibilities. The narrative of Meghan Markle as a figure carefully curated for public perception was suddenly under scrutiny. Every detail of her life, from public appearances to private moments captured in leaked photos, was being examined under a microscope. And for viewers, this was irresistible. Who could resist analyzing a story that promises scandal, secrecy, and the possibility of truth hidden just out of reach? The online reaction was a masterclass in viral frenzy. Memes emerged, blending humor with speculation. TikTok compilations dissected expressions, angles, and even body language. YouTube commentary channels uploaded in-depth analyses, breaking down every possible angle. Even traditional media outlets covered the story, blending speculation with reported facts. And through it all, Candace Owens' initial post remained the catalyst, the spark that had lit the wildfire. But perhaps the most compelling part of this chapter is the question of motive. Why would Candace Owens, known for her controversial and sometimes polarizing commentary, release such a potentially explosive narrative at this exact moment? Was it a genuine effort to uncover truth? Was it a calculated move to dominate the news cycle? Or was it both? The answer may never be fully known, but the effect is undeniable. By sharing these images and posing the question, she disrupted the carefully managed image of Meghan Markle, forcing the public to engage, debate, and question in ways that few imagined possible. Even more intriguing is the human element behind the story. Behind every photo, every online debate, and every headline. There are real people, a child, a mother, and individuals whose lives may be irrevocably affected by speculation. The emotional stakes are high. Fans, critics, and casual observers alike feel invested, emotionally engaged, and eager to uncover the truth. And in this climate of high curiosity, the tension grows with every passing hour. As the day progressed, new layers emerged. People began investigating the yacht itself, attempting to determine its location, ownership, and possible connections. Observers scrutinized the man's attire, demeanor, and interactions with Meghan. Small details, previously overlooked, were now magnified. Every angle of the photograph was analyzed for clues, every expression examined for hints of recognition, familiarity, or secrecy. The narrative Candace Owens had introduced was rapidly evolving, becoming more intricate, more compelling, and more controversial by the hour. Social media users also began to note a pattern in Meghan's recent appearances. Certain events seemed to coincide with the timeline suggested by the photos. Could there be moments deliberately obscured from public attention? Could there be explanations hidden in plain sight? And if so, what would they reveal about the relationships, the timelines, and the events leading up to the public release of these photos? Every question only deepened the intrigue, prompting more speculation, more investigation, and more debate. By the end of the first 24 hours, it was clear Candace Owens had done more than post a photo. She had catalyzed a cultural moment, a viral storm, and a debate that would dominate headlines for days. And all it took was 2 images, a pointed question, and a willingness to challenge the narrative surrounding one of the most scrutinized figures in recent history. But here's the kicker: the story doesn't stop there. As the public continues to debate, as conspiracy theories evolve, and as media outlets cover every nuance, one central mystery remains unresolved. Who is the man in the photo? And what does his connection to Meghan Markle and Archie truly reveal? The questions hang in the air, unanswered, charged with speculation and tension. And that brings us to the cliffhanger that will lead us into the next chapter. While the world debates, an even more shocking detail is emerging. A detail in the photos themselves that may confirm, contradict, or complicate everything we think we know. The resemblance, the timing, the interactions, all point to something far bigger than a simple image. And as we dig deeper into the yacht, the timeline, and the context, the story promises revelations that will leave viewers stunned, questioning, and desperate for more. Because what comes next, the unveiling of hidden context and the first cracks in Meghan Markle's carefully managed public image, will change the narrative entirely. And the internet, the world, and Meghan herself may never recover from the storm Candace Owens has unleashed. Imagine a luxury yacht gliding across turquoise waters, sunlight dancing on the waves, and a serene silence broken only by the gentle slap of the hull against the sea. On board, Meghan Markle appears relaxed, radiant, carefree even, a rare glimpse into a world most of us will never see. But then there's a shadow in that picture. Not a literal shadow, but the presence of a man standing close, his features partially hidden, yet striking enough to ignite speculation across the internet. Who is he? Why is he here? And why has this moment, captured candidly, become the epicenter of one of the most viral controversies surrounding Meghan Markle in recent memory? The yacht itself is emblematic of secrecy and exclusivity. Private, inaccessible, and luxurious. A perfect setting for moments the public is never meant to see. And yet, here we are, analyzing every pixel, every detail, every nuance of a moment that was meant to remain hidden. The setting amplifies the intrigue. This isn't a casual coffee shop or a public park. This is a private yacht, somewhere offshore, where visibility is limited and privacy is paramount. Every photograph taken here carries weight because it represents a glimpse behind the curtain. A curtain Meghan Markle and her team have worked tirelessly to keep drawn. Social media erupted almost instantly after Candace Owens' release. Fans, critics, and casual observers alike dissected the yacht images with fervor. Every angle was analyzed. Where was this yacht located? Was it part of a private fleet? Could it be traced to a known location in Meghan's travel history? Observers began cross-referencing luxury yacht registries, satellite imagery, and public reports to triangulate a possible location. The internet became a hive of amateur detectives. each trying to piece together the puzzle. And then there's the man himself. His casual posture, the relaxed way he interacts with Meghan, and the intimacy suggested by proximity all contribute to a narrative the public couldn't ignore. Was he a friend? An associate? Or, as speculation quickly suggested, someone more intimately connected to Meghan's private life? The questions were relentless, and every unanswered question only amplified curiosity. People began comparing his features to those of Archie, Meghan's son, fueling the wildfire of debate that would consume social media for days. The yacht's design, its location, and even the lighting in the photos became crucial pieces of this viral puzzle. Observers noted the sleek deck, the luxurious seating, and the way the sunlight hit the faces of Meghan and the man. These weren't mere details. They became evidence, each element analyzed for clues about timing, proximity, and authenticity. What time of day were these photos taken? Morning or afternoon? How does that align with Meghan's known schedule? Could the man have been present at other key moments in her private life? Each question deepened the intrigue. And then there's the timing, always critical in a scandal of this nature. By comparing public records of Meghan's appearances, social media check-ins, and known engagements, online investigators attempted to pinpoint the exact moment the photos were taken. But inconsistencies quickly appeared, a seemingly minor discrepancy in timing. A missed public appearance, a delayed flight, or a canceled meeting suddenly became a potential clue in a larger, more controversial narrative. The yacht, once a symbol of serenity, transformed into a stage for speculation, with every detail scrutinized as if it held a hidden truth. Candace Owens' role in all of this cannot be overstated. By releasing these images at this exact moment, she became the catalyst for a viral storm. Her post didn't just show photos. It introduced a narrative, one that insinuated hidden connections and secret relationships. "Who is he, Meghan?" she asked, and the question resonated, not just because of the curiosity it inspired, but because it challenged the controlled image of Meghan Markle that had been carefully curated for years. This was no longer about photos on a yacht. This was about narrative, secrecy, and the power of perception in the digital age. The internet responded with the speed and intensity one might expect from a story of this magnitude. Fans defended Meghan, citing coincidences and arguing against assumptions. Critics seized the opportunity to question her narrative, amplifying existing doubts. Online forums, discussion boards, and social media threads were flooded with theories, analyses, and debates. Some speculated that the yacht itself held symbolic meaning, a retreat, a sanctuary, a hidden world where truths could be revealed. Others focused exclusively on the man, scrutinizing every feature, expression, and gesture, trying to determine who he was and what his presence signified. And while the public dissected every detail, Meghan herself remained silent. No statement, no clarification. That silence, intentional or not, became part of the story. In the world of viral controversy, silence is rarely neutral. Every pause, every withheld comment, is interpreted, analyzed, and amplified. In this case, it created a vacuum that speculation rushed to fill. Every question about the yacht, the man, and the timing became magnified, as viewers attempted to reconcile the images with the narrative they thought they knew about Meghan Markle. But let's pause to consider the emotional impact of this revelation. Beyond the speculation, the intrigue, and the viral posts, there is the human drama. Meghan is not just a public figure. She is a mother. And while the world debates the images and their implications, a child exists whose likeness and parentage are at the center of one of the most intense social media discussions in recent history. The emotional stakes are high because the story is no longer just about a photograph or a viral post. It is about perception, identity, and the intersection of private life and public scrutiny. Every detail, every shadow, every angle matters. Observers soon began to notice subtle cues in the photographs, gestures, interactions, the way Meghan looked at the man. Some argued these were signs of familiarity, perhaps even affection. Others insisted they were mere coincidences, normal interactions blown out of proportion by an overzealous public. Yet the debate itself is revealing. It underscores the power of context, the hunger for narrative, and the human tendency to search for patterns, even in the absence of concrete evidence. Then there's the question of access. How did these images surface? Who captured them? Were they intentionally leaked, or did they slip through the cracks of private life? Each possibility carries implications that range from casual curiosity to outright scandal. Candace Owens' role in amplifying the leak only heightens the stakes, as her credibility, reach, and timing ensure that the images receive maximum exposure. By framing the release as a question, "Who is he, Meghan?" she transforms what might have been a fleeting glimpse into a viral, highly charged narrative. And as the images circulated, the comparisons began. Social media users began placing the man's features next to photographs of Archie, highlighting similarities in jawline, eyes, and expression. Others pointed to timeline inconsistencies, suggesting that the presence of this man at the yacht could explain previously unexplained absences or movements. Every observation, every analysis, added layers to the story, deepening the intrigue and creating a narrative that is part investigation, part speculation, and part cultural obsession. Yet, for all the analysis, one thing remained clear: the man's identity is largely unknown. We don't have confirmation. We don't have context. We don't have Meghan's response. And that is precisely why the story has captivated millions. The unknown is far more powerful than the known in a viral scandal. Every unanswered question, every gap in the narrative, becomes an invitation for viewers to fill in the blanks, speculate, and engage. And in the digital age, engagement is everything. But here's the final twist of this chapter. The yacht itself may hold more clues than anyone anticipated. The vessel, its layout, its surroundings, even the style of its furnishings, offers subtle hints about location, ownership, and context. Social media users and amateur investigators alike began comparing these elements to known yacht designs, private locations, and possible travel itineraries. Every detail became evidence, every nuance a potential revelation. The setting transformed from a simple backdrop to a central character in this unfolding drama. And that brings us to the cliffhanger leading into the next chapter. As we examine the yacht, the man, and the images, a new question emerges. One that may answer, or further complicate, everything we think we know. The resemblance between this man and Archie is not just striking, it's uncanny. And when combined with the timing, the setting, and Meghan's silence, it sets the stage for revelations that could redefine this entire narrative. In the next chapter, we will dive even deeper into the details of the yacht mystery, exploring the hidden clues, the timelines, and the subtle indicators that have left the internet and royal watchers reeling. What seems like a simple photograph is, in fact, a puzzle with pieces scattered across time, space, and secrecy, and every piece brings us closer to a truth that could shock the world. Have you ever seen a face so familiar, so strikingly reminiscent of someone you know, that it makes you stop and question everything? That is exactly what happened when the internet first laid eyes on the man beside Meghan Markle in those yacht photos. At first glance, he could have been anyone, a friend, an acquaintance, a companion. But as Candace Owens boldly pointed out, the resemblance to Archie is impossible to ignore. And when millions of viewers began scrutinizing the images, the comparisons became intense, emotional, and viral. Facial recognition, whether conscious or subconscious, is a powerful tool. Our brains are wired to detect patterns, similarities, and familial traits. And in this case, the man's features, the jawline, the shape of his eyes, the subtle tilt of his mouth, immediately drew attention. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons. Users highlighted specific characteristics: the curve of the eyebrows, the spacing of the eyes, even the shape of the nose. Every small detail became a piece of evidence, fueling speculation that went far beyond casual observation. The resemblance wasn't just noted in passing. Experts in facial recognition and social media analysts joined the conversation. Some pointed out that certain features are hereditary, inherited in ways that might not always be obvious. But when multiple features align, when the overall expression and structure of the face mirror a known family member, the connection becomes uncanny. People couldn't help but ask, could this man truly share genetic ties with Archie? Could this be the missing piece of a puzzle no one thought they'd have the courage to explore? The internet, of course, took this speculation and amplified it to an unprecedented degree. Memes, illustrations, and TikTok videos flooded social media, each post analyzing the man's features in meticulous detail. Some users overlaid the images with childhood photos of Archie. Others traced facial lines, trying to detect familial similarities. The discussions weren't casual. They were fervent, often heated, and deeply emotional. People debated the legitimacy of the resemblance, the credibility of the images, and even the implications of what this could mean for Meghan and her family. But it wasn't just strangers on the internet who noticed. Bloggers, celebrity commentators, and even some journalists highlighted the uncanny similarities. Headlines blared, "Is this Archie's father?" Experts examined the yacht photo, and Candace Owens sparks outrage with uncanny resemblance claim. The idea that a single image could generate such global attention speaks to both the power of social media and the emotional investment the public has in Meghan Markle's personal life. And yet, there's a complexity here that can't be ignored. Human perception is tricky. We see patterns where none may exist. The resemblance might be influenced by lighting, angle, or even facial expressions. Social media users, driven by curiosity and intrigue, may exaggerate or emphasize traits that align with their theories. But despite these variables, the resemblance is consistent enough across multiple analyses to make it a point of intense fascination. Whether coincidence or confirmation, it has captured the public's imagination. Candace Owens' role in this narrative is critical. By highlighting the resemblance, she reframed the images from being merely a private moment into a potential revelation about Archie. Her statement, "People will see the resemblance. The truth always comes out," was not just commentary, it was a provocation. It invited viewers to look closer, to question what they thought they knew, and to speculate on a possibility that many would have previously dismissed as unthinkable. In doing so, Candace Owens transformed the photos into a viral event, turning observation into investigation and suspicion into obsession. The emotional impact of these comparisons cannot be overstated. For Meghan Markle supporters, the speculation is uncomfortable, even invasive. They argue that family resemblance alone is not proof of paternity and that the photos, taken out of context, can create misleading narratives. For critics, however, every similarity is evidence, every angle a clue, every expression a sign pointing to hidden truths. The emotional divide among viewers is stark. Outrage versus curiosity, skepticism versus belief, loyalty versus doubt. And in this divide lies the fuel that drives engagement and prolongs the life of a viral story. Let's consider the psychological aspect for a moment. When humans see a face that resembles someone they know, the emotional response can be immediate and intense. The resemblance triggers questions, speculation, and even fear or excitement. In this case, the similarity between the man and Archie has caused viewers to grapple with a hypothetical scenario that challenges long-held perceptions about Meghan Markle's private life. People are emotionally invested, and their reactions range from shock to disbelief, from curiosity to outrage. The resemblance also raises logistical questions. Could the timing of the yacht photos, combined with the man's presence, align with known events in Archie's early life? Could there be moments or interactions that, previously overlooked, now take on new significance? Social media users and amateur sleuths began overlaying timelines, attempting to map travel schedules, public appearances, and private moments. The goal was simple: find connections that would either reinforce or refute the speculation triggered by the facial similarities. And here's where tension builds even further. Meghan Markle, despite the viral comparisons and the public scrutiny, has remained silent. Her silence adds another layer to the speculation. In the absence of comment, viewers fill the void with their interpretations. Silence, in this context, is not neutral, it is charged, it is heavy, and it is profoundly amplifying. Every hour of non-response, every unanswered question, makes the resemblance appear more significant, more compelling, more urgent. The digital reaction has been extraordinary. Memes juxtaposing the man and Archie went viral. Side-by-side comparison threads appeared across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Some users even created interactive posts, asking followers to vote on the degree of resemblance. The story evolved beyond commentary into a full-blown social media phenomenon. Every like, share, and comment added to the momentum, creating a feedback loop that ensured the story would not fade quickly from public attention. And then there's the question of intention. Candace Owens' emphasis on resemblance is not accidental. It directs viewers to focus on specific traits, encourages detailed analysis, and primes the audience to draw conclusions. By framing her commentary in this way, she effectively controls the narrative, guiding public attention toward the very speculation that has now dominated online discourse. The result is a story that grows exponentially, fueled by visual evidence, expert commentary, and public fascination. Yet, for all the comparisons and analyses, one critical factor remains. The identity of the man is still largely unknown. This unknown amplifies the intrigue. The less information available, the more speculation thrives. The resemblance becomes a puzzle, a mystery, a topic of debate that can persist for weeks, months, or even longer. Every unanswered question strengthens engagement, keeps audiences invested, and ensures that curiosity remains high. The story is not static. It evolves with every passing moment. As discussions unfold, new interpretations emerge. Some viewers focus on facial analysis, comparing the man to Archie. Others examine timelines, attempting to align the yacht trip with Meghan's known appearances. And still others delve into social media behavior, public statements, and historical patterns of royal conduct. The absence of a statement from Meghan allows all of these narratives to coexist, compete, and grow, each feeding into the viral cycle that sustains the story's momentum. The emotional intensity of this silence cannot be understated. For Meghan herself, the stakes are deeply personal. The images, the speculation, and the questions all intersect with her role as a mother, public figure, and member of one of the world's most scrutinized families. The potential implications of the narrative are profound, touching on family, privacy, and public perception. And yet, for the public, the silence is tantalizing. It fuels speculation, drives engagement, and ensures that every detail, from facial resemblance to gestures on the yacht, is examined in search of meaning. The digital ecosystem thrives on this kind of ambiguity. Algorithms amplify content that generates engagement and speculation, especially when tied to high-profile figures, drives clicks, views, shares, and comments. Meghan's silence, by creating uncertainty, ensures that attention remains focused on the images, the man, and the viral comparisons to Archie. In effect, her non-response has become a narrative device, amplifying the impact of the photographs and Candace Owens' provocative commentary. And here's the cliffhanger that sets the stage for the next chapter. Meghan's silence is not just a pause. It is a statement in itself. But the consequences of that silence are only beginning to emerge. As social media buzzes with speculation, analysis, and debate, new voices, new theories, and new evidence are beginning to surface. Details previously overlooked are now coming to light, each one potentially reshaping the narrative, deepening the intrigue, and challenging everything the public thought they knew. In the next chapter, we will dissect the timelines, the inconsistencies, and the unexplained gaps that have fueled online speculation. We'll explore how these factors intersect with the yacht photos, the alleged resemblance, and Meghan's silence to create a story that is as compelling as it is controversial. The truth, or at least what the public perceives as truth, is waiting to be unraveled, and what comes next could shock everyone watching. When it comes to unraveling mysteries, timing is everything. A single moment, when placed out of context, can ignite speculation. A minor inconsistency, when magnified by public scrutiny, can turn into a major controversy. And in the case of Meghan Markle, the yacht photos released by Candace Owens have exposed exactly that. A series of timeline questions and inconsistencies that leave more questions than answers, fueling speculation about hidden truths, secret encounters, and, most provocatively, the alleged connections to Archie. The first question anyone asks is deceptively simple. When were these photos taken? At first glance, it seems irrelevant, a casual yacht outing, a private moment. But in the world of viral speculation, timing is everything. Social media sleuths immediately began cross-referencing public appearances, charity events, and travel schedules to establish a timeline. They examined flight records, social media check-ins, and known locations of Meghan and Prince Harry. The results were fascinating and confusing. Certain dates didn't line up. Some events overlapped with known appearances. Others were curiously unaccounted for. Every gap, every inconsistency, became a potential clue in the growing debate. Consider the public appearances Meghan made around the likely time of the yacht trip. Royal watchers, journalists, and fans meticulously track her engagements, charity events, interviews, official appearances. Yet when analysts attempted to align these with the photos, discrepancies emerged. There were moments when she was reportedly in one location, yet the yacht photos suggest she was elsewhere. Flights, hotel stays, and event schedules appeared to conflict. These inconsistencies sparked speculation. Were the photos taken in a secret location, at a hidden time, or during a gap deliberately obscured from public knowledge? The uncertainty amplified curiosity and fueled the viral frenzy. Social media exploded with theories. Some users suggested the yacht trip had been deliberately timed to coincide with specific events or absences. Others argued it could explain previously unexplained gaps in Meghan's schedule. The speculation didn't stop there. The presence of the man in the photos raised additional questions. Who is he? What is his relationship to Meghan? And could his presence align with previously unaccounted for moments in Archie's early life? Every unanswered question became a thread in the narrative, weaving together speculation, analysis, and debate. Timeline inconsistencies also intersected with Candace Owens' claims. By releasing the photos and emphasizing the resemblance to Archie, Candace highlighted potential contradictions in Meghan's public narrative. The timing of the yacht trip, the man's presence, and the resemblance itself suggested a hidden story, one that the public had not yet been privy to. Candace's framing of the images ensured that these timeline questions were not merely observational, but became central to the viral debate. Analysts and fans began to dissect travel schedules with surgical precision. They compared airline bookings, verified public appearances, and mapped out potential yacht locations. Every minor inconsistency was scrutinized. Some users noted that Meghan's absence from a specific event coincided with a plausible yacht outing. Others pointed out that certain social media posts seemed to mask her actual location. Each detail, while small in isolation, collectively painted a picture of mystery, secrecy, and potential concealment. But the inconsistencies didn't end with physical locations. Observers also examined the timing of social media activity. Posts, likes, and shares were cross-referenced with the likely moments the photos were taken. Some suggested that social media posts were strategically timed to deflect attention from the yacht trip. Others argued that inconsistencies in post timing hinted at coordination or concealment. The pattern, if there is one, is tantalizing yet elusive. It leaves viewers questioning not just where Meghan was, but why certain actions, posts, and appearances occurred when they did. These timeline gaps also intersected with public scrutiny of Archie. The resemblance between the man in the yacht photos and Archie has been the spark for intense speculation. Timeline inconsistencies add fuel to that fire. Observers asked, could the man have been present at key moments in Archie's early life? Could gaps in Meghan's publicly known schedule align with private interactions that explain the similarities? The combination of resemblance and timing created a perfect storm, where speculation flourished and questions multiplied faster than answers could emerge. Social media algorithms amplified every inconsistency. Every tweet, post, or video analyzing the timeline gained traction. Users debated, speculated, and shared theories across platforms. Comment sections were flooded with questions. Was this yacht trip during a gap in public appearances? Could this explain missing appearances? Why haven't we seen more photos from this period? Every interaction reinforced engagement, ensuring that the story remained viral and the narrative unresolved. The emotional stakes are high. For fans of Meghan Markle, The speculation around timing and inconsistencies is invasive and uncomfortable. They argue that gaps in public knowledge are not proof of hidden truths. They warn against jumping to conclusions, citing coincidences, logistical challenges, and privacy concerns. For critics, however, each timeline gap is evidence, a clue pointing to concealed realities. The clash between defenders and skeptics drives discussion, intensifies curiosity, and ensures that every detail, from yacht location to flight times, is analyzed to exhaustion. Experts have also weighed in, providing insights into how public figures manage appearances and schedules. Coordinating travel, engagements, and media presence is complex. Small discrepancies are often innocent, logistical errors, or overlapping commitments. Yet in the context of viral speculation, even minor inconsistencies can become magnified, interpreted as deliberate concealment or evidence of a hidden narrative. In this case, the presence of the man in the photos, combined with timeline gaps, has created an almost irresistible puzzle for observers to solve. And here's where the tension escalates further. The yacht photos themselves offer subtle temporal clues. Sunlight angles, shadows, and environmental details are analyzed to estimate the time of day. Clothing choices, posture, and interaction patterns provide additional hints. Observers cross-reference these details with public schedules, seeking alignment or contradiction. The complexity of this analysis adds layers to the story, making it as much about deduction as it is about speculation. The timeline questions also intersect with Candace Owens' narrative. By emphasizing resemblance and suggesting hidden truths, Candace framed these inconsistencies as potentially significant. The public, already primed to scrutinize the images, latched onto these gaps as evidence of something more. Each inconsistency, however minor, became a clue in the viral investigation, ensuring that curiosity, engagement, and speculation continued to grow exponentially. And yet, for all the analysis, gaps, and speculation, one critical fact remains: there are no definitive answers. The timeline inconsistencies generate intrigue, but do not provide proof. The resemblance, combined with timing gaps, creates suspicion but not confirmation. And Meghan Markle's silence continues to fuel interpretation, allowing every observer to project their theories, beliefs, and conclusions onto the narrative. The digital ecosystem thrives on uncertainty. Algorithms favor engagement, and controversy drives attention. Each timeline discrepancy becomes a talking point. Every unanswered question becomes a viral seed. And in this environment, speculation is not only inevitable, it is amplified. Meghan's absence from public clarification, combined with the yacht photos and Candace Owens' provocative statements, ensures that discussion, analysis, and viral debate continue unabated. The emotional stakes are heightened by the stakes of family and perception. Archie, as a child, becomes a focal point in the conversation. Observers debate resemblance, speculate about connections, and analyze implications. Every inconsistency in timing becomes a potential explanation for observed phenomena, feeding into the larger narrative that Candace Owens ignited. The story is no longer about a single photo. It has become a multi-layered saga of resemblance, timing, and silence. And here's the cliffhanger leading into the next chapter. As we delve even deeper into Candace Owens' bold claims, the timeline inconsistencies, and the viral reactions, a new question emerges. One that could redefine everything the public believes about the yacht photos, the mysterious man, and Archie himself. Observers are now piecing together hidden connections, subtle details, and potential evidence that may confirm or contradict the narrative Candace introduced. What comes next promises revelations that will leave viewers stunned, questioning, and eagerly awaiting the next chapter. In the following chapter, we will dissect Candace Owens' statement, analyze her motives, and explore how her commentary has shaped public perception, viral engagement, and the growing controversy surrounding Meghan Markle's private life. The story is far from over, and the most dramatic twists are yet to come. Candace Owens doesn't shy away from controversy. That is well known. But when she released those yacht photos of Meghan Markle alongside a mysterious man and made her bold claim, people will see the resemblance. The truth always comes out. She crossed a line that sent shockwaves through social media, royal watchers, and the general public. That simple statement, framed as a confident assertion, transformed a private moment into a worldwide spectacle, forcing everyone to question what they thought they knew about Meghan Markle, Archie, and the hidden dynamics of her life. At first glance, the statement seems straightforward, a comment on facial resemblance. But its implications are layered, calculated, and potentially explosive. By emphasizing the truth always comes out, Candace positions herself not merely as an observer, but as a herald of revelation. She frames the narrative in a way that suggests a secret is being revealed, a hidden connection is being exposed, and the world is about to witness something previously concealed. The effect is immediate. Speculation skyrockets, social media ignites, and viewers are drawn into a web of curiosity, suspicion, and intrigue. Let's break down the components of Candace's statement. First, people will see the resemblance. This isn't phrased as a question or a casual observation. It's a declarative, confident assertion. By stating this outright, she directs public attention to a specific detail, the alleged similarity between the man in the yacht photos and Archie. She primes the audience to focus, analyze, and compare. Human psychology is such that when told to look for a specific pattern, we are naturally inclined to find it. The resemblance becomes not just noticeable, but almost unavoidable. Then there's the second part. The truth always comes out. These 5 words carry enormous weight. They imply that something has been hidden, that a secret exists, and that the moment of revelation is inevitable. It's provocative, it's accusatory, and it's designed to generate viral engagement. Candace isn't simply pointing out a similarity. She's suggesting that what the public is seeing might be part of a larger narrative, one that has been obscured, carefully managed, or deliberately concealed. In doing so, she injects a sense of urgency, drama, and inevitability into the story. The timing of this statement is equally significant. Candace didn't make this claim randomly. She released it at a moment when Meghan Markle's public appearances had been limited, when social media attention was primed, and when the viral potential of the images could be maximized. In the world of social media, timing is everything. A post released at the right moment can explode. Released at the wrong moment, it fades into obscurity. Candace's timing ensured maximum visibility, maximum engagement, and maximum controversy. Social media's reaction was instantaneous. Thousands of posts dissected her words, debating their meaning, implications, and accuracy. Twitter threads examined every phrase. Instagram comments debated the intent, and TikTok creators dramatized her statement, turning it into a viral meme. Every detail of her phrasing, from resemblance to truth, became a point of discussion, interpretation, and speculation. In effect, her words amplified the images themselves, ensuring that attention remained focused on the yacht photos and the mysterious man beside Meghan. Critics immediately weighed in. Some accused Candace Owens of sensationalism, arguing that her statement was designed to provoke, inflame, and generate clicks. Others accused her of irresponsibility, suggesting that speculating about a child's parentage in this way is unethical and potentially harmful. Yet, despite the backlash, the impact of her words cannot be understated. By framing her commentary as both observation and assertion, she transformed the viral photos from a curiosity into a story with global resonance. Supporters of Candace Owens, on the other hand, praised her for speaking boldly, questioning the result is an ever-expanding web of speculation, analysis, and viral engagement. Furthermore, her statement resonates with broader themes of secrecy and revelation that have long surrounded Meghan Markle and her family. Over the years, Meghan has been portrayed in a variety of ways: beloved, controversial, misunderstood, celebrated, criticized. Candace's words tap into these narratives, suggesting that there are hidden dimensions, untold stories, and truths yet to be revealed. The public, already invested in Meghan's narrative, is drawn into the story, eager to uncover what lies beneath the surface. Another aspect of Candace's boldness is her willingness to take personal risk. By releasing these photos and making such a provocative statement, she exposes herself to criticism, backlash, and scrutiny. She knows that accusations of impropriety, speculation, and controversy are inevitable. Yet, she proceeds, confident that the narrative she is framing will dominate discussion. In doing so, she transforms herself from observer to influencer, from commentator to catalyst, shaping public perception and guiding attention toward the very issues she highlights. The statement also functions as a narrative anchor for the viral conversation. In the absence of other voices, particularly Meghan Markle's, Candace Owens' words become central to how the public interprets the photos. Every analysis, every meme, every comment thread is filtered through the lens of her bold claim. By framing the resemblance and the concept of truth as central, she directs focus, shapes perception, and ensures that her narrative maintains momentum across social media platforms. But what makes this claim truly compelling and potentially explosive is the way it intersects with public emotion. The yacht photos, the mysterious man, and the alleged resemblance to Archie evoke a mix of curiosity, disbelief, and intrigue. Candace Owens' statement doesn't merely comment on these emotions, it amplifies them. She transforms speculation into assertion, curiosity into obsession, and observation into controversy.